Hey, what's up, everybody? Gonna go through a same game parlay options for the Toronto Boston game today. So the model does like Boston. It's like Boston all week. Did have a slight overcorrection on the first. It looks like it liked Toronto a little bit better, and then it's straightened out back towards Boston, but it is still on the Toronto side of that spread. As far as the total goes, it's been over the entire week. So the model likes the over, likes Toronto on that on the spread side, but it's not super confident. There's been a lot of changes throughout the week, big drop and then a big jump again. So it really does like Boston. It's just not sure on the spread side of that. So some of the props I wanted to look at was Payton Pritchard for his threes. He's actually had two or more in the last 10 games. Every time he's dropped down to two, he has gone back up to four in the next game in that time span. So two isn't great odds. For two, I think it's around minus 380. But for three is at minus 130. Model has him at 2.6. He's hit 60% of these last 25 home games. He's hit that line of two. If we change it to three, it does go down. He's only hit that in 44% of the last home games, but he's averaging 2.4. Obviously, recently he's hit four of the last five. He's hit three. So it looks pretty good. If we go down here, he did make four in Toronto, one of the times they played this year. Other similar matchups, he has some good games. He's also had some pretty bad ones. So depends on what you kind of want to look at. He's definitely had the floor drop out on some of his games, but just looking at the recent games, I really think at least two he should be good. He's only gone below that one time in the last, what is that, 14 games. So two should be good, just not great odds. If you want to push it to three, I do think he does have a pretty good shot at that today. One of the other ones I wanted to look at was gonna be Jaylen Brown. So I like his PRA the best. I think for 35, it's right around minus 219. So a good parlay piece. Model does have him at 39.6. So if you wanted to bump it up a few points or PRA, whatever, I think it would still be a pretty solid option. If we look at him for 25 points, just recently, he's been doing really good, even with Tatum coming back. If you look at the home games, solid even farther back. So his points have always been pretty good. If you look at games, I believe he's got some. Nope, he doesn't have any Toronto down here in the closest ones. But the closest ones, if you look at this, most of these are over 30. He's got a 41, 30, 33. Does have this Cleveland one that was on the road. And then more recently, he had Atlanta at home. He only had 21 in that game, but that was back at the end of January still. So different team. The most recent home games, he's had 41, 32, 29, 31. So the points look good. Looking at his assists, again, still at home, looking pretty good on all of this. Similar games. He's had seven, he's had eight, seven. So assists look pretty good. And then rebounds as well. Mostly all above five. He's had some up here at seven in the similar games. These green dots, the highest dot was a green dot, which is the similar game. So I do think 35 on his PRA should be, I don't want to say easy because nothing's easy yet, but I do like that a lot. I do think it could probably go up to 40. If you go up to 40, it would be plus odds on that one. I didn't write down what it actually is, but that would be a pretty good option. I do like Tatum. His rebounds have been really solid lately. The model has him at 10.4 for rebounds. So if you look at that's the home games overall, had a couple dip down below, but recently most of these have been at 10 or better. He's only had two. He has a 9 and he has a 5 down here. Other than that, he's hit that in 7 of the last 9 games. And he hasn't only played 13, so that looks pretty good. Double digits in a lot of these. So if you combine it with assists as well, I believe you can get his 15 rebounds and assists for about minus 120. 10 rebounds is about minus 110. I think those are the best options that I would have. His assists have been getting better every single game recently of the last 5. I mean, one small dip, but most of that looks really good. Look at the home games. They've been at 5 or better. So again, if he can get 10 rebounds and 5 assists, or ends up with 12 rebounds and 3 assists, or 7 rebounds and 8 assists, whatever, I I think he can get to the 15 rebounds and assists a little bit easier than he can get to the 10 rebounds, and they're all about the same odds. So I think those would be either one of those would be a pretty good option for today. I like RJ Barrett for his points. I think I would probably play him right around 18. So overall, you can see on the 20, these are 18 right here. So he's only missed it in these 2 games since the middle of March. Most of these green dots are up top. He did have this dip. He did have this dip, but the model has him predicted at 18.6. At 18 points, he's at minus 185. I do think he has the possibility to go over. If we look at his road games, he has had some up here right around 24. A couple went down below, but I like him for 18. I think he's definitely going to go over that. The 20 seems like a little bit further of a push to me. He did have 19 in Boston earlier this year, back on January 9th. So he can definitely hit that. And then just looking at the overall for his points, especially if we go down 8, that's 20. So that shows some that didn't miss. These are the 18s. So like I said, all of these have been looking pretty good for 18 plus. If you wanted to take him at 15, the only one you're really saving recently is this yellow dot. Both of these still missed, but good matchup. And he's been really good recently since he's been coming back from injury. So 18 points, 15 points if you want a parlay piece, whatever. It does look good to me. And then we got Shead for assists for 5. With quickly out recently, he's been hitting 5 or better. I believe his line is right around 6. The model has him at 6. So, oh, you know what? I did not change that. Hold on. There we go. That it'll update. That looks a little bit better. All right, so here's his assists. So 5 or better, all of these since the middle of March. With quickly out recently, he's been doing a lot better. Even if you go on the road, he's still been doing really well. This green dot here against Utah, he had 14. So it's considering that a similar matchup. With assists and stuff, it is also the amount of assists a team gives up, but there's also pace and a lot of that involved too. So don't think that just because Utah is a really bad team that it's not working on the comparative. It works pretty well. The most similar games here, we got 2 against Boston. The one in Boston, he had 8. One at home, he only had 2. Those were a few months ago, so a lot's changed. But the most recent similar matchups, he's had 8 in all of those. Again, I think 6 for minus 155 is a pretty decent option for Shead today. And then the last one I'm going to look at is going to be Queta for his rebounds. I'm going to put it at 7. I think you could take him for anywhere from 7 to 9. 7 is minus 240 last I looked, and 9 was at plus 109. The model does have him at 9, so that's pretty good. If you look at overall, he's missed these ones here. The blue dots are similar, but it's the close, not the closest. All these green ones are at 7 or better. A lot of them are at double digits, which is why I do think he can get up there. So the last 3 most similar have been all double digits. The one before that was 8. So to me, it looks good. He had 6 against Toronto at home back in early January. But, I mean, that was a really long time ago. The team is different. I know he was fighting off injuries for a little bit too. Yeah, it looks like it was about in that time because 1222 to 105 would have been his injury. So that would have been one of his earlier games back. So I can see why he didn't get quite as many in that game. Let's see what his minutes were. Still 27, so not bad. But I do think in today's matchup, the way he's been playing, go back to the overall just recently, his line has been up there a lot. He's been doing a lot better, a lot more consistent recently. I do think, like I said, if you want to play him a little safer, you could take him down here at 7. That would be this line right here. So these ones all missed. But I think he can get up there to 9. I think he can get to that plus 109 on the odds at 9 in today's matchup. As long as Toronto keeps it close. If it ends up being a blowout, if he gets in foul trouble, there's obviously risks in it. But I like him for 9 today. If there's any other ones you want me to look at, let me know. The site is up. The site is free. You can go to LetsParlayML.com. You can check out all of this stuff. If you want anything else, though, let me know, and I'd be happy to help you out. Good luck.